Welcome and thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe to the channel so that you get all the videos that I upload. Give the video a thumbs up and please share the video. This video will take you through a C++ solution of the exercise that you are seeing on the screen. Now, please pause the video and try the exercise on your own, and then after you've done writing your solution, then you can continue watching how I solve this simple exercise using C++. So the question reads as follows. A parking lot business decided to introduce a system that will calculate the revenue generated from parking per day, right? The parking fees are as follows. So if you park 0 to 4 hours, you are charged 10 rand. If you are parked 4 to 10 hours, you are charged 17 rands. If you are parked 10 to 24 hours, you are charged 25 rands. Write a C++ program that prompts the user to enter the number of cars that were parked for each bracket of hours and calculate the total revenue. So we can see that the program itself should prompt the user or the person who is using the system or the operator to enter the number of cars for each bracket. So all the cars that are parked from 0 to 4 hours, they are charged 10 rand. And then all the cars that were parked between 4 to 10 hours, they are charged 17 rand. All the cars that were parked between 10 to 24 hours are charged 25 rands. Now, for all my solutions and code in this channel, I use VS Code. Still using VS Code. I will then call this parking lot.cpp or parking.cpp, and then I will include IOStream because I will display a couple of numbers there. IOStream. And then I'm just going to include my namespace so that I don't have to write that every time I write C in and C out. And then obviously we need a main. And then return 0 at the end. Alright, so the first thing is that the program should prompt the user to enter the number of cars for each band. Now obviously the first one, I would say C out, enter the total number of cars parked for 0 to 4 hours. And then I'm actually going to take that on the same line. And then I'm going to say C in to take the user's input, right? And then for that number, I do need a variable for that. So I'm going to say this is cars. And then I'm going to declare an int cars, because you can never have a decimal with cars, right? It will always be a whole number. You can never have 1.5 cars. It's either 1 or 2 cars. And then I'm going to declare an integer of cars, and then I'm going to assign that to a 0. There is no need to assign that to a 0, but you just never know what the compiler will assign a declared variable to, right? But regardless of whether you assign that to a 0 or not, you will override it in this line, so that will be fine. And then on the next line, I'm going to then take the second band, which is 0 to 10 hours. So it's the same thing. Enter the number of cars, enter the total, just to keep it consistent, the total number of cars parked. I see a spelling error here. Parked for 4 to 10 hours. And then I'm going to take that on the same line as well. And then let's see. So see out, enter the number of cars 0 to 4 hours, and then on the same line I'm going to take that. Then I just want see out and line, so that now after entering those cars, I don't want this enter total number of cars to be in the same line as that statement. I want it to be on a new line, which is why I'm adding that see out end line. And then here I'm going to use the same variable, because I am going to take that number of cars, and then I'm going to calculate everything using that number. Or maybe let me just say cars 1 instead. And then I'm going to declare a second variable here, int cars 2 cars 2, and then obviously this is the, as you can see, this is the same thing. The band is the only thing that's changing. So I'm going to duplicate this code, right? So obviously after all that, I want to start this on a new line. So that is going to be cars 3 for that band, and then this is going to be for 10 to 24 hours. All right. And then now I have prompted the user to enter the number of cars that were parked for 0 to 4 hours, number of cars for 4 to 10, number of cars that were parked for 10 to 24 hours. The next thing now is to calculate the total revenue that was made from those cars. So I'm going to then introduce a second integer, which is, I will call it total revenue. And then I'm just going to assign that to a 0 as well. And then I'm going to say total revenue, right? We know that for the first band, the amount that is charged is 10 rand. So for the first one, the total revenue is going to be cars times 10 rands. And then that will be assigned to this, that's cars 1, that will be added in that 0, right? And then for the second time, you don't want to override, but you want to say total revenue is equals to total revenue plus this time, right, cars 2 times this ones, they are charged 17 rands, so times 17 rand. And then I'm just going to put this in a bracket for clarity, and then this will be cars 2, of course. And then the amount that we already had here, because at 0 this will start at 0, and then for the first cars that are charged at 10 rand, we will multiply the total number of cars that were parked by 10, and then have that revenue stored in total revenue. Now here we do not want to override like this whatever that was in revenue, but we want to take whatever was stored now, because that's the revenue of the cars that were charged at 10 rand, that amount that we have here, plus the other cars now that were parked for over 4 hours, between 4 to 10 hours. And then we add those, then we assign it back to total revenue. And then the same thing will happen on this one. So I'm just going to duplicate that. After taking in the data, I'm going to have that statement here. Then here, this is cars 3. These are the cars that are parked for 10 to 24 hours. So these ones are charged at 25 rands. So I'll say that is 25. And then that is the whole solution there. Then at the end, I will want to see my total revenue. So I will say total revenue is equals to then my total revenue. You can add n line there or not, it don't make a difference. Then there, let us then now put in a couple of numbers and then see. So because there is no test data, what you can do to quickly check is put in small numbers that you can quickly calculate in your head. So you know that if there was one car in each 1, 1, 1, you just add these numbers. It's 10 because that will be 1, 1, 1. So that will be 10 rand plus 17, which is 27. And then you have 27 plus 25, which is 52. So you can quickly just enter those numbers to quickly check if you have the correct logic. So I'm just going to quickly run mine. So on the first one, which is prompting me, enter the total number of cars parked for 0 to 4 hours. I'm going to say that is 1. And then for cars that were parked for 4 to 10 hours, I'm going to say it's 1. For cars that were parked for 10 to 24 hours, I'm going to say it's 1. And then you can see that it is 52. So you can see that the logic is at least correct. Now, let me put in numbers. And then it is up to you also to then enter the very same numbers that I'm entering, and then check if you are getting the same numbers that I am getting. And then if you are not getting the same numbers as I am getting, leave a comment. Tell me what numbers did you write in and what are they giving you, and then I'm going to respond back. So let me just put in random numbers here and see. So I'm going to say 25 cars for the first 0 to 4 hours, and then I'm going to say 48 cars for 4 to 10 hours, and then I'm going to say less cars now, 12. And then the total amount that we would have made for that day will be 1,166. I'm going to run this again. This is the second batch now. I'm going to say now 72 hours, 72 cars I mean, and then 42 cars, and then 12 cars again, and then that will be 1,734 rand. Now, if you did pause the video in the beginning and write a solution, just input those numbers and double check if you are getting the same answer. Right? If you are getting the same answer, you can still leave a comment to say the logic was fine. If it's not, then tell me what did you do, what numbers did, if you had the same numbers and the different answer, what did you do on your logic? I hope you understood and enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.